Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Hi guys, you're welcome to the Ladies Talk Show, where we discuss about every and any single thing that has to do with the female gender. My name is Chikasi Obo, and don't forget you can actually catch past episodes of this show on our YouTube page at Western Spring Television. And if you're a guy and tuning in and you want to tune out because it's Ladies Talk, no, don't, because this is where you get to know the innermost carcass of the lady's heart, lady's emotion, how she thinks, how she reasons, how she moves, and every single thing. Now, I never do this show alone, okay? Because it's not lady talk, it's ladies talk. I always have my ladies in the studio with me, and today they are looking mighty spectacular.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing, ladies?
What happened to soldiers today? You not call us soldiers.
No, you guys are looking really feminine today, so I felt more like, you know, giving you guys a ladies term.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Ladies, not lady. Oh yeah, I'm fine.
It seems as if you're already feeling the Valentine vibe. I mean, it's not near yet, though we're in the month of it. But you're already having the red.
January was
the truth
almost terrible. And I decided that February, I'm going to start Valentine early.
Ooh.
So are you sure you're going to say Valentine gifts? Because if I see
I
Valentine
already
gifts,
sure already. It's me you should be
I
asking.
suppose there's some sort like
No, you guys are sure. You
No,
guys have
why
like,
is it sure?
you
Just
have
wait.
partners.
Just
and he
wait.
definitely knows that he's one of his responsibilities.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. You're his wife.
If I see Valentine gifts, I go.
You guys, you have a man already. So like, there's no problem for you.
See, truth
now, I
is,
should be the
we
one to
got
start thinking.
all the Valentine gifts we could get when we were single. So get as many
Is
as
that
you
how
can.
it
now.
is?
Yes, that's
Get
how
as
it
many as you can, girl.
Because don't be shocked that on Val, your husband would give you money and say that's for shopping for the house. You would stress it. The house, not Val.
You're welcome to the show, Topper.
Thank you, thank
Nice
you.
to
I'm
have
glad
you.
to be here again. I'm glad to see you, and I miss Judith on the show.
Oh,
That
yes.
craziness.
Our Proco mama.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have her next week. Now, Nengi Ernest, how are you preparing for Valentine? I'm not seeing
is
any red
coming.
on your body, but
You said no.
I know.
Wait, Cassie, you
there's
said
plans already.
you said we should be asking you.
Eh.
So Valentine is coming.
Where is
is
your
boyfriend?
No,
We should be asking you.
nowhere to be found.
See, I've already told you my own. If I see Valentine gifts, I should somersault like 22 times. So that says it all.
But I know definitely. You probably be doing your show that Wednesday morning. You just get like
be
a surprise.
honest.
Surprise cake, surprise flowers.
If I see surprise, who am I to reject it? Who am I to reject it? I will receive it wholeheartedly.
But how have
But
you
it's
been?
not likely.
Hey, have faith.
Okay.
I'm facing what?
Have faith. But how have you been, Nengi? How's it been
I'm
for you?
fine. I'm good. I have been coping. Ha! I have been coping. See, underline the word coping. Underline the word coping because work has not been easy for almost a month now.
Wow.
I have been here, there, on this show, on that show, and even those times where I feel like I should just rest. In fact, I should just rest today. There's no time for that. In fact, there's just not any time
I can
that I
imagine.
can pick out for myself and say, okay, except for nights, you know, where you just sleep and before you know, kukuruku.
You have to rush
It's
down.
I can
morning already, and
imagine.
you start, you know, you just have to start your day, start running down to work and all of that. But then again, it's all good. I mean, it's part of life, isn't it? We keep hustling for our daily 2K until we
Well,
become
it's
billionaires.
But then, you know, I need to say something for the ladies in the house that have men. You know, you're not just going to be expecting the gift too. I hope you know it's a two-way thing. So I hope you're planning something for your husband too.
No,
I hope
it's
so.
give and take.
Yes,
That's
I
it.
know, but in case you don't know whether he has something
let
planned
me
yet.
just tell you. Let me.
Okay, so what happens when he gives you and you don't give anything in return?
Cassie,
Tell him later.
Cassie,
Just
now
start
let me tell
planning
you.
something now.
Okay, we'll plan in my heart.
In my plan for myself and my partner, it is 50-50.
How?
That 50-50, now let me break it down for you.
Okay.
50%, he brings the money. The other 50%, I spend it. That's
Come
our
on.
50-50.
You gotta do better. You gotta do better, okay?
That's our meeting.
You gotta do better.
That's the light on the door.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll go on a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll be discussing about the topic of this day. This one is very dicey, and you definitely do not want to miss out on it. You're welcome back to the Ladies Talk Show. Now, we are going to be talking about something that happened. Usually, when we hear stories like this, it's always the other way around. But this is the very first time where I'm hearing it being in the reverse, and it honestly got me shocked. It got the ladies shocked, and I know it definitely gets you shocked. So I'm going to read out the story for you guys to actually listen and hear and give us your opinion on what you think should be done. Now, this woman says, she sent an email that she's a medical doctor, and let me just read, using her own terms. My hobby is a software developer. We both had good jobs till my husband lost his job, and getting a new paid job was hard. So we decided that I travel to Canada till we are stabilized. He would join us with the kids. Now we have 2 girls. December 2018, I decided to come to Nigeria for the festivities to celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. Now when I arrived, I noticed a tense atmosphere between my daughters and their father. I thought it was, the teenage parent issues, so I ignored it when I noticed that. Now, my daughters would sometimes be rude to their dad, and I demanded to know what was going on. Now, this became a matter of concern because my daughters used to adore their father. I tried severally to get my girls to speak, but all they had to say was for me to talk to my husband. I had to ask my hubby what was going on. He told me it was nothing that he could not handle, and that our girls were keeping bad company in school. And because of this, he decided to disallow them from going out to attend parties. He drops them in school, and he creates time to pick them from school. Now, I was happy because, there was a strong hand that was needed for my girls, and I ignored their attitude. Few days to when I was to travel back to Canada, I called my girls to talk to them. After a long talk, they told me that daddy did not want them to go out because he was having sex with both of them. Now, when my husband came back from the office, I confronted him, and they repeated what they told me in his presence. My husband denied vehemently, but the girls insisted that it was the truth. Now, I was confused, and I sought the counsel of our pastors and his parents. They called our girls, and they said the same thing, and I didn't know who to believe. My husband kept begging me to believe him, but I just was not ready to listen because I could not see reason why our children would lie about such. So I made arrangements, and I took my children back to Canada. Now, with me, I took my children back to Canada with me, despite the loans I had to take for the extra costs. Now, while I fight for divorce, I raised my children alone for 3 good years. Then I heard the news that my now ex-husband was getting married to someone else. I mentioned it to the girls, and I expressed how sad I was that a man would do that to his daughters, go scot-free because there was no evidence to push a case, and I busted out crying while apologizing to them about what he put them through. It was there and then that they confessed to me that their father did not actually touch them. That they lied because their dad did not give them freedom to do what they desire, and they wanted to leave Nigeria. Now my world shattered. Where do I start from? How do I beg my husband? What do I say? Probably I should have trusted my husband, but then I was trying to be a good mom. I lost a good man. How do I get him to forgive his children and can I still save my home? Who will you blame in this story? The children who lied on their father because of freedom, or the wife who didn't trust her husband despite pleading that he was innocent?
Quite shocking.
This is a very deep one because whenever we hear stories like this, it's always true. It's always that, yes, the man is molesting the kids. I've never heard the situation of the children lying against their dad. I mean, these are not even small kids. These are teenagers. I mean, they are mature at this age. So how do you even sit down and decide that for a way to japa, you can't just even think of some small lie? It's the extent of accusing your dad, your blood father, of molesting you. And then the woman, she was just trying to be a good mom, right? You have to believe, if your daughter comes to you, who would you believe? No, honestly, naturally, if my daughter were to come to me, I'd believe her over my husband because this is my flesh and blood. I made her in my womb, and my husband is just somebody I'm married to, And I wouldn't really blame her for, wanting to believe in our children. But now this is what has happened. And the man has moved on. 3 years. He's married already.
I'm shocked speechless.
To be honest, yeah, to be honest with you.
This is, I don't even know how she's going to start packing what has been broken to put it together. It's a very dicey one. Same it up here. Where do we even start from? Who do you blame in this situation?
You know, when a certain party, a certain political party in Nigeria tells you, don't be emotional about it. It used to be funny to me, but really, I think it comes to play here. I mean, the woman was, as we all should, really, we're women. And the first instinct is to protect our young.
Absolutely.
We forget about partners. Well, the first reaction, she's not wrong. I mean, believing the children. But then, the part where you should not be emotional about things, when the first euphoria of emotions wear off, you have to, well, the first one wears off rather, you have to then think, what do I do? Now, as a person, let me talk about myself. You have to ask the Holy Spirit how to really tackle the issue. Now, at the end of the day, you need to get experts. Because while you were reading, I was saying, where does the doctor come in here? You should go to the doctor. There's a way they test things.
There's a way to check.
I mean, they check if there are remnants of semen somewhere around. You know,
the thing though is that it did not just happen. They said it's been happening. So if it just happened, then it's possible for you to check if there's remnants. But if it happened, like I say, a few days ago, I don't think there'll really be anything there.
But I actually do not think that there is a way they can't even see it. It's science, it's doctors, you understand? So I feel that probably
because there has been activities down there.
Yeah,
there's a way they know.
Exactly.
So what if they are not virgins and it's not their dad who disvirgin them? They've been having sex with some other man.
It does not matter. They would still know, Cassie.
How would the doctor know that it's the dad in particular? Because if you're saying activities, these are teenagers who already, you know, they've reached puberty, they've grown breasts and everything. So they could decide to go sleep with their boyfriends.
Okay, the first thing that would
and blame it on their dad.
The first thing that would be established is the fact that yes, they're having
something
sex
really happened
actually, actively. The second one is about the semen. Doctors can pick even the slightest, you know, residue of semen. But let's even leave that aside. Doctors have another part to play in psychology. There are ways detectives get things. Okay, I used to know of a girl that was brought to my house by my mother. Her father said she steals. And so he went from house to house on every street, telling every house that if they abort her, it was actually cursing them. That was just the word. My mother brought her to our home, but at first we didn't notice anything. Eventually, we noticed things, and she even stole the littlest of things, like even plastic spoon, alum, and all of that. At the end of the day, we were in church one Sunday morning, and somehow, my mom was taking a class that she was also to attend. She wasn't that class at the beginning, but eventually excused herself. We did not know what happened between that time and when she returned. But we were to know. Okay, long story cut short. We got back home. We found our kitchen door open. Immediately that happened, because our kitchen door was leading outside. So it's not within the house, like you don't forget. Immediately that happened, I was charging my system on my bed. I don't lock my room door. I knew that my system was gone. Now that system was gone. We didn't know what happened. We had a suspect in our area, and it was someone else. By Monday morning, my mom was suspecting her, but I was suspecting someone else. Eventually, my mom challenged her directly, not, did you do this? My mom said, you did this on Monday. She said, no, she did not. At the end of the day, 1 week down the line, that's the following Sunday, we were called to the pastor's office and we found my system. Okay, fine. Who did this? I was beginning to now share my mother's sentiment. But there
Like
was
it
no
was the-
evidence at the time. But when I got home, going through my system, I found her pictures all over.
The babes. So somebody was
The
trying
girl.
to like set her up.
No,
She did it.
she did it.
So she's a thief.
She was.
So her daddy didn't lie against her.
her dad didn't like it.
Oh.
You see, children play mind games, especially when they know that you and your husband are not putting up a united front. And that's where psychology is what I'm saying comes to play. You would grill them, ask them questions that have loopholes in it.
Yeah.
At the end of the
And
day,
they won't be able to
they
feel
won't
it.
be able to feel, because what? They are children and you are adults. And an adage says that I've forgotten now, but that, you know, inanimate things cannot be wiser than you, a human, with the right thinking, with sense, full common sense. And so, really, children are delicate, and they feel that even people who are reasoning, adults, have fleeting thoughts as well. And so, where I know the woman got wrong was to, you know, not take further actions. You don't just believe anybody.
You know, she said she tried to seek counsel. She tried to bring other people in, but then, you know, they repeated exactly what they were saying. So
in front of those
you know,
other people.
it's not so easy. You're saying it like it's black and white.
No.
It's not actually so easy to be able to decipher that they are lying.
She said
and they're not kids.
She didn't say
they are
experts.
teenagers.
I know.
So at this point, they will know how to tell a good lie and stick by that story.
Cassie, what's tell a good lie? In the face of experts, they may not be able to pinpoint how well you're lying, but they will know that something is amiss.
How many women can actually afford experts? Because when you say experts, I'm thinking you're saying, you know...
I'm talking about doctors, really. Doctors are experts in the field. And that's why we have them at our disposal. What about guidance and counseling at the Ministry of Women Affairs? Or even children's part? They are free. You could go to them. These people are not just there for when you actually are sure that there's an abuse. They're there to guide you.
So also check
to help you. Exactly. But really, there's a lot of work to be done on those kids. 3 years down the line, she's just knowing that. And that's where her work begins. Because for years, you have been living with total strangers. People you do not know.
And the fact that they felt no remorse.
Exactly.
None whatsoever. First year passed, second year passed, third year, until they saw their mom crying because the man had moved on.
Because I really don't know.
They waited till he had moved on. That's the worst part. They were sure, okay, he has married, there's nothing like coming back to Nigeria. They now decided, oh, let's now tell mommy the truth.
From that, we could be saying that maybe the man is not even the enemy. Like, he's not their enemy. Maybe it's even the woman. Were they trying to get back at her for leaving them?
No, they said they just wanted freedom. He wasn't giving them freedom. They wanted to live that wild life. Yes. He was stopping them from going for parties, mixing with bad company, and they wanted freedom from him rather. So they decided, you know what?
Really, children
let's do something.
are a very special ministry. And the earlier we started knowing that, the better. There is nothing that should warrant you. That's why deep faith people are always saying, when you're growing, carry your family along. Because what is, you may be selfish about it, it's okay. But at the end of the day, they'll be the one to drag you down to where they are. So carry them along for your own good at the end of the day. So that's just it.
Okay, Nengi, who would you blame?
It's quite, this is serious, to be honest with you.
It's a very dicey, and you know, when this happens, it might be so difficult to want to start being emotionless, to what start saying, okay, let's the emotions at that moment,
you do know
knowing that these are your kids, and there's been so many stories out there of children being molested by their dads, their relatives. So your first instinct will want to believe them.
Now, to be honest with you, even when I saw this story, even before you read it in the studio just now, you know, when I saw the beginning part of the story, I said to myself, I was like, you know, it's no longer news. Yeah, it's no longer news. We see these headlines, we see these things. I mean, you know, we rarely talk about them, but they are deeply rooted in our culture. You know, somehow, you find these things happening until the twist and turn of it. It was like, voila, here I am. Here's the main plot. Like, here's the main thing. Here's the main plot twist at the end of the day. Now, to be honest with you, I feel like this could be a perfect script for a movie. I'm sorry, but this should, like, it's more like a perfect script for a movie. Because what? It's more like it is somehow it's more like it is scripted. It's like it's not
because
scripted.
I really wasn't expecting
it to like turn around that way. Because all I felt was, oh, this is our normal headline. Maybe probably we'll just talk about it, see how things can change, you know, with the new generation and all of that. Until, like I said earlier on, when I saw the plot twist, when I saw the twist and turn, and how the whole thing unfolded at the end of the day. Now you might want to look at the situation and say, okay, let's balance things up. The truth is, in fact, I don't know the kind of marriage that they have been, you know, building. I don't know how strong they've built themselves.
20 years.
You know, 20 years.
20 years.
Exactly. Now, we could be saying 20 years. We've had people that are married for 40-something years. They end up divorcing, and you ask them the reason. They will tell you, this was what was happening. I couldn't just take it anymore. Do you understand? So that 20 years now, let's just say, maybe something else was going in there. Now, she talked about the fact that, okay, the husband lost his job at some point. She was a doctor, probably working outside the country, was going to fetch them more money than it is right here in Nigeria. So they, you know, came together, agreed, and she decided to go. And I'm very sure she must have been sending money down, you know, for the housekeeping and everything. Now, the truth is, just like she stated, you know, see the children. In fact, there is special ministry. I'm quoting your words. That there is special ministry that if you do not handle them well, to be honest with you, even sometimes when you handle them very well, the society is awaiting to devour them. And you know, it's surprising because this is right before our eyes. Now, let's not forget that they are now teenagers, which means that at the starting part of their lives, 0 to, let's just say 16, 15 years, she was there. Let's just say, put it that way, maybe 0 to 10, 0 to 13. She was there with them. So what was the kind of those little characters that they were showing? What was those? Because I know some kids can be very mischievous, right from, even from once they start walking, once they start talking, you would notice that this child, the way this person, although sometimes we just push that away because, you know, what are they? They are just kids now. What do they know? When they grow to an extent, maybe we'll start disciplining them concerning a particular attitude that they have been showing. So what was the attitude these kids were showing you, probably when they were much more little, maybe at the age of maybe 13, 14, you know, teenagers? I think it's from 15, right?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
No, 13 for
from
teenagers.
13 to 19 or 20,
yeah.
So what was those little things that you could notice, probably when you send them to do something, probably when you're discussing? What was your relationship with these kids before you actually left? Before you left. Now, I was thinking it was a situation of probably this man was sex-starved and, you know, decided to do the unthinkable at the end of the day. Now, when I got to understand this twist right here in this story, I watched a movie.
Yeah.
It's an American movie where kids were accusing a particular man of having to hide children in his basement, have sex with them, even to the point of killing them. This man came out to debunk it. In fact, they had gone to his house, searched. In fact, this same thing that the children did, that where if they call me, they will repeat the same thing. These were the things that the children did at the end of the day. Like, they repeated exact words they were telling their children to experts also. So it's very hard.
That's the twist I'm trying to let Tope know.
Right there.
It's not so easy.
It's not so easy.
It really isn't.
Children, I don't know. I actually do not even know where to balance this at the end of the day. Now, you don't want to crucify her for reacting that way. And at the end of the day, you still want to crucify her for maybe not noticing some of the things that and some of the characteristics that the children were putting out at some certain age. And then the man, to be honest, I'm very sure that it must be hard for him to move on, but he had to. But he had to.
But would you say we should blame the mom in the aspect of she left and then they start having issues with the dad. He start become, maybe he's the strict parent. She's the
Yeah.
easygoing one.
Exactly.
And so they were used to having free
Yes,
hand from their
you could
mom.
tell.
She left. The dad became the strict one with nobody to balance up the soft
that's
part.
still
And
one of
then
the
they start, so
wrongs.
we've been saying it's
That's
her
still
fault.
one of
then.
the wrongs.
I was talking about the relationship now. I was talking about the fact that your marriage is 20 years does not mean that, you know, it's very
have
solid.
things
Or,
going,
do you
yes,
understand?
well.
So I was trying to talk about the relationship that these couples have built over time. Plus their children in the picture. What kind of relationship have they built? You understand? So yeah, you just, you know, opened everything up. Yes, talking about one parent being strict, the other being, you know, less stricter than the other one. Of course, these things balance each other. And so when one person is missing out of the picture, that is why they would always tell you that, you know, or there's this often, you know, there's this consensus that goes around that a child normally needs a father figure, and those ones you find misbehaving, those are the ones that do not have father figure. To be honest with you, children, they need the balancing. They need the balancing. Some, see, I would not be surprised their friends might have inflicted this kind of thought, you know, that mindset to them, and tell them that, see, all these things, you know how teenagers
Do you believe that some children are naturally born evil? But would you say it's the society that influences them? Because we see some stories where some kids, and they are just, from the onset, you can be like, this one is
mischievous.
possessed. Like, nah, this is some devilish behavior. Because for you to see two daughters come together,
Two
to want to
girls.
sit together and decide that, yes, we are going to lie on our blood father,
They're not
and we're
even
going
twins.
to stick by the story.
They're not even twins, because you know that story surrounds twins when they will say
exactly. So
Yeah.
would you say the kids, there's something psychologically wrong with them or spiritually wrong with them? Like, which one would you say?
It's just
Now,
with parenting. really.
No,
the truth
you
is-
want to blame the parents alone.
It's with
let me look at it from this
parenting.
angle.
Because I hope you do know that there are kids out there who have been trained from the onset in the
Yeah.
presence of the Lord, trained in churches that had pastors as fathers and mothers, and they still went haywire. Hope you know
They
that.
still went
So would you
astray.
say it is the parenting, or it is just the child as an individual who decided to
Now,
just
see, to
Whatever
be
be
it
honest,
crazy.
is you want to say, it's still parenting, and I'm not saying that the parents are at fault. What we're saying is parenting, that's tutoring or guiding or whatever it is you want to call it. When parents are supposed to be, I don't know, nosy, that's just the word. They're supposed to be nosy and be an imposter self about or on your kids. Sometimes they will hate you at the beginning of their lives. If your kids don't hate you, if they don't even tell it to your face that they hate you, or they don't challenge you if you're really their biological parents, I think I'm not saying you should be harsh, but I think that you still have a lot of things to do. I have done that before with my parents. But what I'm saying is, as a parent, you have a lot to do before your kids, you know, begin to mingle out there. You have a lot to instill in them before that point.
So what
let's not
happens?
forget she's
At the
a
end of the
doctor,
day-
which means that time even
It's not there. It's not there.
If she even is a doctor, I don't expect her to just take their words hook, line, and sinker.
Tope, everything is not black and white. Sometimes
I
there are
know.
lines in between, because you're
know.
saying, oh, it's so easy to check. I think the highest
I'm not
amount
saying it's-
semen can spend in the body, I think it's like 5 days.
yeah, 3 to 5.
So if it has passed the number of days, because she's been around for a while already for the festivities that she came
Yeah.
for, and nothing would have definitely happened. If something was happening, nothing would have happened within that period. So as of that period that she was around, nothing had been happening. So there was no way
just said-
semen would still be in their
You
body that for her
said-
to check.
You said that she was around and she asked her husband what happened.
No, we are talking about what's
When
been
they-
happening that
I
made
know.
them to be rude to their dad, and they confessed. Now, they confessed that when she wasn't there,
I'm
Their
trying to
dad
paint
was
a
trying
picture
to
of
have
there's
his
no
way with them.
likelihood. Okay, I understand. See, I don't know how to really put this to you. The point is that it's possible that, like you're saying, you could not pick up evidence from the biological aspect. But I'm still talking about psychology. I understand, I've said it before, I understand the first instinct of believing your children. But then you have not been around. You could easily just calm down and check all these things.
That not being around self is even more motive for you to want to believe them, because you're not even there to
understand all the
protect your
evidence, and that's why
daughters.
I'm talking
You're not there to satisfy your
You
husband.
remember,
And your daughters are
things,
there.
I laid some things bare when I was talking. See, this thing is not even just to. We're not only talking on this show to debate on what has happened. We're also talking about what should happen from here on now. Parents need to sit down. I mean, your kids come home sometimes and give you stories about their teachers.
Yeah.
Some kids hate their teachers or dislike. Let me use that lesser, you know, more subtle word. Dislike their teachers, and they can cook up anything. Do you go there to the school straight away to go talk, you know, back at the teacher, or to go accuse the teacher based on what your child has done?
If it's,
What you need
it depends
to
on
do-
the accusation, though.
What you need to do.
If you're saying my child has been molested, it depends
now
on the
that's what we are
accusation.
saying. We're now establishing the fact that it's not everything you react like.
But then it
There's
was this
petrol in the
particular
fire.
thing she was reacting to, the fact that they were
It's,
accusing
their own father.
father of molesting them.
That
Okay, you
seems-
know what? Let me ask this question now. What do you think is the right punishment for these children? Because they can't go scot-free. I don't, aside, you know, them taking the blame, the mom taking the blame, what do you think she should do to them in this instance?
Well, they're
If
not
they
in
were your
Nigeria.
kids.
They're not in Nigeria anymore. Disciplining them has to take wisdom. But the first thing I would do, you see that freedom that made you lie against your father and destroyed my own life, you will not have it.
And
for
the
a
truth
very
is, you're
long time.
outside the country now, so those kids could easily file.
Exactly.
For you to
And
even
they'll come
either
for
get
you.
arrested or they are taken away
Exactly.
from you to social
Because
service.
kids that can lie like that in Nigeria,
Well,
where sometimes we don't even know some of these laws exist.
now, really,
They would easily turn against you outside the country.
yes.
Because I'm sure they must have read about the kind of laws and everything over there. Because it seems these kids are very smart.
Very.
Very smart in a very negative way.
Very. So, that's the first thing you do. Well, I think a follow-up to that would be to bring them back to Nigeria and leave them here. I'm not saying leave them here. I'm saying they will start living here. But you are going to, I don't even know if it's possible, because it's obvious to say it as it is. I will say it as it is. It's obvious that you as a mother have failed up until that time. Yes, you have, Cassie.
Don't you think that's a bit too harsh
No, it's not.
to the mother?
No, it's
Because
not.
how would you say she
See,
has failed?
Cassie.
She was simply trying to be a good mom to
Oh,
them.
God,
She was
Cassie.
simply trying to believe them.
Still be a
Because
good
a lot of people
partner.
come out to
All
say,
right.
okay, they were
Let me
raped, but there's
put
no
this-
evidence.
let
But
me
they
put
know
this
within
to
them
you,
that they've been
Cassie.
raped.
Let me put this to you, Cassie. The point is, the fact that you stole because you were hungry, or you stole because your mother was sick, you had a motivation, does not mean stealing is not stealing. It is still what it is.
But
Stealing.
it all falls down on you, the person who decided to commit the act.
So, okay, Cassie, my child is lying, my child is doing something, my child is terrible, or doing, you know, putting up some vices. Is whose fault? Is it yours?
The child.
The child.
The child.
Indeed. The child came
Because
with a
there are
blind
some
head,
times where
Cassie.
you've done your best. I hope you know. So many riffraffs we see on the street is not because they didn't come up with good home training.
Cassie,
So many
at
of
the end
them.
of the day,
And you know
I
this
am
saying
still
that they're saying
telling
that
you.
pastor picking the spoil pass. It's those ones that they've trained in the way of the Lord that even want to derail the fastest. So I feel like you saying it's the mother's fault or she has failed
I
as a
didn't
mother
say it's her
is
fault.
so
I'm saying she
harsh
failed.
a word.
It's not.
To say she has failed as a mom, I feel like that's too tough.
I think I'm still going to hold my opinion. That's a failure on the part of the parent. And that's because I really don't even know how else to explain it.
Okay.
But I think we're going to have different opinions. At the end of the day, let's say a family is the smallest unit of a society. And the society is the way it is because of one wrong one family is doing. Now, I may train my kids right, but they go out there to mingle with another family that is wrong, that was brought up badly.
So if the society decides to say, oh, you've done wrong, you accept that, yes, you're the one who has failed as a mom because the society decided to derail your child after you trained your child well.
Not the society, another family.
What's,
Cassie.
no, but you're
Making up that
blaming
society.
the mom, right?
I'm
So
blaming
if
the
tomorrow
mom.
your
So
kids
if
grow
you
up
say-
and you've trained them well, but they've derailed because of another family,
I have
you would
failed,
take
Cassie.
you.
Exactly.
Okay, that's you. Now, we'll go on a quick break. I'm just going to push it there. We'll go on a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll continue with this talk because it seems like it's a very dicey one, and we're not going to be ending with it anytime soon. Don't go nowhere. Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be showing on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times. You're welcome back to the Ladies Talk Show. Now, we are still discussing about a certain family who has found themselves in disarray because their daughters happen to tell a lie that has cost the happiness of the marriage. And we are discussing on who is to be blamed. And now we are talking about the punishment that should be given to these daughters. Now, Tope has said that their freedom should be taken away and they should be brought back to Nigeria. So I'm going to be asking Nengi, if it were to be you, what would you do to these girls?
Let me just tell you, my mind though. It will sound funny, but it's seeming like that is what I will do. We'll take you people to the river. Dunk your head inside the water. Use broom. When you people see line next time.
That's another level of child abuse.
But that's on a lighter note though. But the truth is, you have to handle this with wisdom at all levels. Because even the kids that are not mischievous, you see their teenage years, it is always with the ups, the downs, the lies, the truths, everything mixed together. We were also teenagers. So we knew some of those little things that we usually do. And the truth is, see, if you are a parent and your kids are your, how do I put this now? Because there's a particular point I want to make. If you're a parent and your kids do not hate you at some point, that means you're not even working. You're not even doing anything. Because when you're a parent and, you know, there are some certain things you stop your teenage children from doing because you want them to be better. Now, I'm not just saying just stop them and be stopping them, because there are some kids that are very inquisitive. They would want to know, why is my mom stopping me from this? And if they're not getting answers from home, they will definitely have answers outside. So in as much as you're trying to discipline those kids, try as much as possible to make them see reasons.
Why you're
Give
disciplining
them examples. In fact, not comparing anybody to anybody, but give them examples, strong examples as to why you're stopping them from doing this. Now, I believe that is what their dad has been doing. But one way or the other, those kids, you know, probably the influence they have outside is much more stronger than just one man taking care of them.
So would you say she should do all of this while they are there? Or would you talk along with Tope and say they should be brought back to Nigeria?
No, they shouldn't. Because it would be another war to whoever you're bringing them to Nigeria to stay with.
Oh, you wouldn't
It
tell
is
them.
going to be a different, in fact, those children will put up a sort of defensive wall that it might crumble more things.
What am I doing over there when my children
It
have
might
gone the way they are
crumble more
doing?
things. So please let them stay there with you. I mean, you've missed part of their years. To be honest, you've missed, if not even a whole. In fact, you've missed the critical part of their years, and you need to redeem that time.
All right,
To be honest with you, you need to redeem it.
before we
Let them
discuss,
stay with you.
we need to actually
No,
discuss.
stay with me. I mean, I'm leaving there to come monitor my kids.
I will not leave my job again for you guys.
So what are
that
you saying?
destroyed my-
What are you saying should be done?
They should stay there with her. It should be, in fact,
You are
this is
saying the
it.
kids should remain with the mom.
The kids should remain with the mom. Let her meet appropriate authorities right there, whether it is in the US
With
or
that
whatever.
story.
Right there, not necessarily narrating maybe
So what
some
do you-
sort
what-
of story.
what's-
That's why they're
what's
experts,
help?
because they can be able to take in these stories.
Now,
That's why they will be
that
experts.
aside, let's now discuss. Do you think there's hope for the marriage?
What marriage?
The marriage that's been crumbled.
It has crumbled.
Do you
Like
think?
just said crumbled.
Do you think? I mean, crumble does not mean that there's no hope. You can't say never, right? That's what they say.
So
Alright,
you
this
will not
crumble
divorce
is
the other
gone.
woman.
Now she's wondering what can be done. Do you think she should tell this man that, okay, the children actually lied and I'm sorry, you know, if you can find it in your heart to forgive me and let's do this again?
Of
I
course,
mean,
there's hope for all
you
of
never
those.
can tell. The man might still be in love
There's
with
hope
her.
for all of those, Cassie. A person accused you. Your own children.
Not the wife. The wife believes. That was her
Listen.
only fault.
Yeah.
Believing the children.
That's a big fault.
You wouldn't
Cassie.
necessarily blame her at the end of the day.
All right, I want to
Honestly
ask you. That's what
speaking.
I'm asking you. Your children lied against you. Your husband believed them. You took their words, hook, line, and sinker.
See, it depends on the
Would
lie.
you?
It depends
that
on
same
the lie. Now
that
let's
you
say,
were sleeping with your male son.
okay.
Would you, after 3 years that you've left,
I'll
would
feel
you?
honestly heartbroken.
and you're at the verge of another marriage,
I'd be
would you leave
bitter
that
about
marriage
it.
and-
I
okay?
would be shattered that she couldn't, or rather my husband couldn't get to believe me. But I think I'll still give it a chance. I think I'll still
When-
give it a chance. Because
by
if the
breaking
tables were
another
to be
person's
turned
heart.
around, I know I would believe my daughter straight up. And that is where I'd give it a chance.
And you
Because
will
I know I
leave
would
the
believe
other
my daughter.
marriage.
If I still love him, why not?
Break someone's heart.
My heart was broken too.
Okay.
So yeah.
Matters of love.
circle will just go round.
Matters of love.
Well, I don't really see. I don't know what I'll do. So I pray it never happens to me.
Mm.
So I'm not going to talk from my own perspective. I'm just going to talk about reality now, the reality of things. When you think about the fact that for 3 years, the marriage was over anyway,
Yeah.
and you've moved on,
You have your wall,
put them,
you know, everything.
yes, you put them aside. So now you have a new family that you're looking forward to being in. You have a new person
Yeah.
who must have heard your story,
Yeah.
who has placated you over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and who is now ready to start a new life with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, well, I wouldn't call it right or wrong. It's left
You
to
don't
the
think it's
person to
possible?
decide. But I don't think it's a possibility.
All right.
I don't
in
think
like
it's a
30
possibility
seconds.
too. I don't think it's a possibility too for them coming back together. The easiest thing that could happen is, you know, apologies from the mom to the dad,
Yes,
from the dad to
forgiveness
the
and
mom.
healings could
You
happen.
understand? Even the kids, I tell you, they need to forgive their kids, to be honest. If they want those kids to go forward in life, they need to forgive them, to be honest with you. And then
Okay.
see how things
Okay.
can restart with the mother and the kids over there.
All right.
That's
Now,
it.
this topic has honestly been such a deep one that has like downed my mood because I'm like, this is something that is so
crazy.
sad.
Yes.
Very. So let's lighten up the mood by, you know, discussing about something that has been trending. We've been seeing on social media. And, you know, I've got some virtuous ladies in the studio with me. So I'm going to be asking them this particular question
Don't
that's
be
been
so
circulating to know what it is that they would do. Now, let's have it on the screen so I could ask them exactly what they would do if they were to be found in that situation. Now, you asked your husband for 50K. Both of you are married, actually, so thank God for that. You asked your husband for 50K. He said he has 30K and he mistakenly sent 300K. Alpha, virtuous women.
Okay.
What would you do? You asked him for 50K. He said he does not have. He
And
gave you
sent me
30.
300K. That's
And then
30K.
mistakenly, he said,
That's 30K.
Now you they see 300K.
So,
I'm not
so
saying
what,
that
what would you do?
And you know I
now,
have
you've
eye
been
problem.
preaching virtuous wife, virtuous mother, this one, that. What would you do
I'm a
as a
virtuous
woman of
woman.
God?
Yes. Okay. You told me. See, we're just talking about telling and believing. giving and believing,
Oh my God.
giving and accepting. There's really nothing to be virtuous or unvirtuous about.
So would you return the 300? The 270?
It's 30K.
So when it comes to you and asks you, babe, I think I mistakenly sent you excess, even though I told you I have just 30. Maybe he was trying to
darling,
do, maybe he had a project in the works. Maybe it was even government money, or maybe his workplace, they're giving him money for a contract and it's not his own money.
Cassie,
What would you
that's
do?
what happens when you say half truth or you tell half a lie.
Hey, when he said he does not have, it does not mean that the money there is his own.
That's what I'm
He said that
telling
300K
you.
now, the 30K is his own, 270 is for maybe a work contract.
Okay.
So if he tells you he has, it's not still his money.
Cassie, if you have $1 million in your account, courtesy demands that you tell me, oh, I have $1 million in my account, but 30K is mine. The other is not. And you tell me what it is.
And so therefore,
that's
you
what
will know
keeping
now.
a united front is. And that's what led that family to where they are. Maybe it was just simply money. But let's not go back to the tense period. Let's come back to the lightning of the mood. 30K was sent to my account. And that's what I saw.
Nengi. What would you do?
The problem is with his bank. He should go to the bank. He should go to the bank.
I like that.
The problem is with his bank. He should go to the
Very
bank.
brief.
Meet them, you know. Probably they would have
The evidence
one or
is
two.
there.
And you just
The
imagine.
receipt has been sent.
Just imagine.
You can see there that it's 300K. He
Yes.
also sent you the receipts that, babe, oh,
What if I
I
develop
sent you-
eye problem?
Nibo.
Well, I have eye problems.
What if I
That is
what if
not
I
going to
develop
leave
eye problem
anytime
after
soon.
the money
But
entered?
my point is that I'm still telling you, if it is a period like this, Valentine,
Oh, okay.
I'm envisaging that.
And you didn't give me flowers,
And
nothing.
you know, it may even be your flowers. Imagine. And yes, you sent me, Mr. Olajos credits my account.
300K.
30K that looks like 300. It's 30K. It looks like 300K. Who am I not to be glad? I'm glad for
Why not?
30K.
As a virtuous woman, that heaven is the goal.
I'm embracing the 30K.
You embrace help, oh. Help does, God
comes
does
in
not come down.
mysterious ways.
Thank you.
So what do you expect your husband to do? Let's say the money is not his own. Let's say it's money that was given to him
Next time.
for work.
Next
Or
time,
someone else's money.
he will learn not to tell half truth.
And
I said it
what
before.
do you think should be done now with the money that's already in your account and the money is not his own? Let's assume.
I still don't
Okay.
understand
We're just
you, Cassie.
assuming
I
that the
have
money is not
30K
his.
Okay,
in
me,
my
I want
account,
to assume
Cassie.
now. But normally it's 30K, and the problem is with his bank. So you will go there. But let's just assume that it's 300K. Oh. You know woman sense now. You know, you don't arrange small this thing. Maybe a favorite meal. Wrist-legged at night.
I'm not
You know,
arranging
buy
anything.
something from the money.
Oh, wow.
Gift it to
So
him.
you want to seduce
You
him
want to-
into leaving the money
I like
with
that
him?
Strength of your
seduction
woman.
part.
Strength of your
You're
woman.
seducing
Cassie.
to say thank
Yes,
you
strength
for
of
the
a
30K
woman.
that was sent to your account.
Oh, really?
But you see that cooking of
No,
strength
you
of your
even bother to
woman.
cook. So you would cook, you would raise
yes.
like you'd buy him a gift. So you say he has eaten
buying
out of
a
the
gift.
300K too.
Yes,
From
he has eaten
30K.
out of.
You wanted that 30K for something,
That
did you
30K,
not?
so I'm buying a gift out. See, I'm a virtuous woman.
So when the time it comes to ask
I'm a very virtuous woman.
you explain that inside that 300K you cook food.
I put my husband first. You understand?
bought
He's the head
gifts.
of the home. So out of that, I squeezed out from the 30K. I said, you know, it's Valentine period. It's the week. You understand? So I said, I can't do this. I mean, even if it's 30K you have and
As
it's
a
sent
lover
to
where you
me.
be.
Do you understand?
As a disciplinarian where I be.
I will
It's
buy
time for my husband to change. Don't lie again.
See, okay, let's look at it as real life scenario now because
Yes.
I don't think I'm believing you guys. Real life scenario. This happens.
I mean, sure we go bring our husband come to show. Make they tell you the kind of wives they marry.
Real life scenario because you will have
would be a good
husbands.
idea. That would be a good
Like,
idea.
what would you guys for real do? Okay, has your husband ever like mistakenly sent you extra? Not that he
No.
said he does not have, or he mistakenly sent you extra before.
No.
That's never happened. What about you?
It has.
What did you do? What did they ask you for it?
He asked.
And what did you say?
I ate it.
And that was all.
Did he ask you?
That's all. He asked, actually. I ate it. What do you want to do?
Oh my goodness.
I like it. He asked.
Oh my, you get, we have food chairs, like it has God, it has God. So like real life scenario, as we are saying, you're not going to return the extra to 70. Wow.
Well,
lady.
real life scenario for me,
Yeah.
it's 30K.
Wow.
That's some period. But for you watching. Real life scenario should be, okay, let me wait if it challenges me. I mean, that should be the thing. You have wings right now. Hold on to the wings. If it challenges you, honey, I mean, I sent you 30K, yeah? Expecting you to say, oh, you sent me 300K. If he challenges you, say, then ask him. So, how did 30K become 300? Oh, did you borrow money to help me? You know, like maybe a loan.
I can't believe Topaz the one saying this.
But at the end of the day, but I've told you real life scenario, and seriously, I'm not going to talk about it, and I will hold on to the fact that it's 30K.
Real life scenario for me, to be honest, it depends on the kind of man you married. It can be Akagon man. You understand? So
Well,
that's how you will deal with him.
too.
Depending on the husband you marry, or real life scenario, that's how you deal with it. That's all. That's how you just deal with it. If it's Akagon, you hold it strong.
Well, even if it's
You
not
hold that case
Akagom,
strong.
even if it's not Akagom, I know how Nigeria is, and I know that my wardrobe is thin. No, it's not even thin. It's watery. I need that money. I'm not returning it. I'm sorry.
Real life scenario.
I'm actually
Reality check. You don't know.
Oh my god, I can't believe you guys are
As
actually
a matter
saying
of
this.
fact,
I really
that
can't.
30K has to be 30K. I'm transferring to 70 out. Yes.
That's why
I mean, you are leaving no trace behind.
No trace.
Wow.
Cassie, we need to educate you on this
This one
thing.
plus money heist.
We need
No
to,
trace.
we need to educate you. That's why we have different. As a woman, have
And do
different
you
accounts.
know, the bank is also very good.
And make sure you don't tell them you have
The bank is like
no account.
your doctor. Confidentiality. But
See, there's a smile that comes to your face when you go to another bank account and you see 270.
See these
God.
wives corrupting me.
But let's ask Cassie.
I mean,
Cassie,
I'm not
what's-
married.
No, you will be married.
I have no.
Okay.
Eh,
your boyfriend.
As the
You're not
Igbo girl
even
that you
lying.
are. No,
I
as the
expect
Igbo
you
girl
to
that
do
you
more
are.
or think about
As
it.
you
You should
know
just
that you
answer.
if the money does not, well, I won't even believe him when he tells me it doesn't belong to him, because he lied in the first instance that
Oh, really?
he did not have enough. So if he comes later to tell me that, babe, it's my work money, I will doubt, because he has already lied.
Doubt it, Thomas.
So there's already a problem there.
Then you already
For
have
real.
it.
So I think I'll throw along your line, guys. I'd keep the one. Oh, we share it 50-50.
share what?
I'll give you 150, I take
Money that you
150.
did not
It's as
See,
simple as that.
don't look at us as terrible. We are
Nah.
virtuous women.
And
And that's why
go
our
for us.
husbands have to be virtuous as well.
Exactly.
If you have 30K, tell me you have 30K.
Yeah, and
tell me, see, with bone face of as an African man,
Yeah,
it's
as
been
an African
trending.
man,
As an
yeah.
African man, see, you ask for 30K. I cannot afford to give you 30K.
Okay,
I will be giving
ladies.
you 10K.
All
I'll
right,
accept it.
we actually have to leave now because we run out of time. It's been such an amazing one in the studio. Thank you so much, Temi Tope. Thank you so much, Dengue NS. I am still Chikasi Ogo, and I'll definitely catch you on the next episode of the Ladies Talk Show. So do have a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye.